no time since 9/11 has this country been so uncertain about its future. And taking a page out of the playbook that helped us rebuild our confidence then, we must pull together and keep moving forward. Main Street must reinvent itself. Whether it's the 25 million small business owners in this country, Americans facing job layoffs and losses, no one knows that better than Mark in New York. A former banker who survived one national crisis when he escaped the World Trade Center, and now he's trying to survive this one.
Dear Donny, on the morning of September 11th, I was in the World Trade Center trying to escape. I said to myself, if I get out of this alive, I'm going to quit this job and do music full-time. Today, I have a small business teaching music, and I've created an instructional DVD, Mark Sly's Guitar Secrets. I want to take advantage of this downturn to help people in this time of crisis and expand my business at the same time.
All right, Mark, you're a survivor of that horrible 9/11 crisis. We're facing a different kind of crisis now. Take me back to that day, 9/11, when your world changed, everybody's world changed, and you decided to take a different path.
Yeah, Donny, thanks for having me. I was working for a bank. I'm a musician by trade. I graduated Berklee College of Music in 1999, moved to the city to pursue my dream. And of course, it's expensive, so I needed a day job, so I began temping. I got lucky enough that Fuji Bank hired me full-time. I had a beautiful office on the 81st floor of Tower 2, but just 2 weeks before 9/11, the bank merged, and I was moved to the 48th floor of Tower 1. I feel very lucky. I was able to get out, and some of my coworkers who were still up on 81 didn't. So I remember trying to get out that day. The stairwells were very, very packed. And going down the stairwell, I made a promise to myself saying, if I get out of this, I got to really follow my true passion, my dream of being a musician full-time.
Which you did, and you've had a relatively thriving business since then. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I've been a guitar teacher. I do private instruction, and it got so busy that I filmed a guitar instructional DVD, and I'm at the point now where I see this economy crisis again, and I'm wondering, what do I do with my business? How do I keep on my toes? It's almost like it's happening again as far as the feeling in the country and what I'm seeing and what I felt on 9/11.
So what, if we can kind of connect those dots, in other words, what you felt that day, and now once again, a different crisis, and you'll survive, we're going to make sure you survive. Do you have that kind of same ethos, like more than ever I'm going to follow my passion, or maybe, you know what, this is out of my control now, and maybe I better kind of go back to something a little safer? Where's the epiphany this time?
I've never felt stronger about continuing what I do. I have students and clients who just thank me up and down for the music, the lessons that I give. Music brings people joy, and for me to give that joy to students, it's overwhelming. So my feeling is I just want to continue to give the gift of music. Music education for me is a passion, and I want to continue on this path. I've never felt so strong about this.
I salute your passion. I salute your ethos. My concern, and I'm going to tee it up to the Power Council, is you're in a very vulnerable position right now, because something that's easy to say, you know what, I'm going to put off the $100 for that music lesson. I'm going to put off, you know, for teaching my kid guitar. It's a great thing, but if something's got to go, you're in that you know, kind of that very vulnerable space, and I know that's where a lot of your anxiety is coming from. So Mel Robbins, on the one hand, Mark's got the passion, and he's got what we're teaching people right now is, you know, there are opportunities, and now maybe you do need to reinvent yourself, yet Mark, he's in a really scary position.
I personally think, Mark, that the safest thing that you can do is to continue to invest in your business, because that is where you will feel the most control. One of the first ideas that I had for you in terms of ways that you can expand this out are camps. I could not get my kids into guitar camps, the rocking camps for girls, Camp Rock for kids, and there's a need for more of those and more after-school programs, and it's also a vehicle that you could continue to sell this. But Donny, the main takeaway for me and for everybody at home is this is going to pass. Buckle down, focus on your business, because it's where you can have control over your life.
Seth Goldman, you founded Honest Tea, $40 million a year business. Am I the one being a little bit of a scaredy cat right now? Because once again, these are the kind of services that I think are vulnerable. Mel brings up some fantastic points. What do you recommend for Mark?
I think Mark's already won. He's following his passion, and that's really the reward in itself. I think the key is make sure you got the right expectations. You know, you were a musician in a banker's body. Don't be a musician living in a banker's home. You know, you got to live, you know, you got to make the right expectations about your lifestyle and how you can live. And, you know, there are opportunities to grow. I think, you know, the Guitar Hero that my kids play, that's bringing a whole new group of people to the guitar industry. So, or to the, you know, for guitar teachers, that's a great opportunity to find new students that way.
Before I bring Barbara Corcoran in, Mark, are you seeing any fall off in your business in the last few weeks?
Not really. I'll be honest. It's funny that the gentleman just brought that up, because my advertisements in my local paper is, do you want to be a real guitar hero? You know, again, I think the Guitar Hero video games that are selling millions of copies and getting the new generation of kids excited about guitar and music education in general, I've tried to capitalize that and, you know, say, hey, here's a video game, but if you really want to learn an instrument, which can segue into any instrument, that's really where my head's been at. But I've seen a little fall off. But again, this is a little slow period. The kids are just getting back to school, so I'm waiting till the Christmas season when they get that guitar.
All right, so Barbara, in reality, is Mark not a cautionary tale, but an example in how to deal in this environment right now?
He's an example of being his own hero, and I think anyone who just listened to your passion for your product would never doubt for a minute that you're going to continue to succeed wildly. My only critique for your particular video product, because if you look at the cover, I think you should ask your kids to design a new cover. This looks very 1960s in coloration, and you don't use that great line about being a guitar hero. And lastly, you have to put your face. You got the kind of face that people want to pinch those cheeks and trust. Any mom would give her kid to you. And yet you have a brownish kind of cover, and it doesn't do you justice. You know, this is not nearly as good as you are, and I think the two should match.
And building on Barbara, you know, one of the things that I think makes your business recession-proof is the kids. Now, I would cut things that serve me in this kind of economy. I'll clean my own house. I will, you know, switch off with Chris on who's driving the Suburban versus who's driving the Honda. But I will not skimp on my kids. I'm not cutting their soccer. I'm not cutting their art classes. I'm not cutting their guitar lessons.
It's a very interesting point that kids are kind of the last place you're going to cut. And when it comes to their growth, you're not going to cut at all. Okay, Norman Hajar is the Chief Marketing Officer and Executive Vice President of Guitar Center, the world's largest seller of musical instruments. Norman, you've reviewed Mark's video. What do you think?
Yeah, your producer sent us a copy of the DVD yesterday. I personally took a look at it, and so did one of our top buyers for instructional DVDs, a guy named Ray Birch. And, you know, Donny, a huge chunk of what Guitar Center's business is about is, you know, serious amateurs and pros. I mean, you know, guys like Slash and bands like Metallica. But despite that, a DVD that's targeted at beginners is a pretty big deal to us, especially, you know, this time of year. And because of Guitar Hero, as you said, we've turned into the planet's #1 source for holiday gifts for players who are just starting out. Right. So this is something we took a hard look at, and we like what we saw. Mark, and I think that this is something that we want to do a little something with.
Thanks so much.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give your DVD a shot in Guitar Center, and we're the largest seller of musical instruments in the world. And we're going to test market the product in our flagship Manhattan and Hollywood stores for the holiday season. And these are the most coveted slots in our entire 214 store chain.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. And if we get sales traction, we'll look at expanding that out in 2009. So I like the one comment about the cover. That's something I do. I think you should build your own personal brand, so that, you know, don't make this.
I love it. I can't even begin to say this is so amazing.
Norman, I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Hey, we're not stopping there, Mark. We've got someone who's been listening to your story, who's a true powerhouse in the music industry. This guy's name is John Tesh, national radio host and author of Intelligence for Your Life. John, I know you got something to say to Mark. Thanks for being here, buddy.
You bet, Donny. Mark, I am so excited for you, and you and I are brothers.
Thank you, John.
Your passion for this, we're all feeling it. Everybody
I'm a big fan
of
yours, John. Big fan.
I appreciate it. I want to tell you, though, that I quit a high-paying job, very similar to you. I quit a high-paying job years ago at Entertainment, and I decided I wanted to follow my passion. When you do that, when you have the passion, everything falls in place. And I think in fact, I know this is a great idea. I love what one of the panelists said about this is recession-proof. Absolutely. But also what you need to do is you need to network. Now, you've got Donny Deutsch on your side. You've got the panel on your side. I just heard the gentleman from Guitar Center, where I shop, by the way, just about every day.
Yeah.
Now you've got the other marketing part of it. Our radio program is on 310 stations across the country, 8 million listeners. We talk about finding your passion and your purpose and getting intelligence for your life and all of that. So what we're going to do is I want to interview you on the show and send people into Guitar Center to get
so
this
much.
thing, and we'll just blow this thing up. The other thing I would love to do, because I want everybody to feel your passion.